And hi, guys. It's 1:23 in the afternoon, and I'm your host, Callie Severson, and welcome back to Kick Back with Callie. So the first story that I wanted to get in today is titled "The Ugandan President Signs Anti-Gay Bill." And as you know, we always have to talk about politics on this show. Not always, but I find some pretty interesting stories when I'm doing my news search, and it's I like to incorporate the international stories and see how they react to certain things. Like we've talked about Russia and their anti-gay agenda, so now we're going to talk about Uganda and its anti-gay agenda. So Ugandan President Yoweri, hold on, gotta pronounce this right. It's Yoweri Museveni signed the Homosexuality Act, a bill that imposes a 7-year prison sentence of the offense of homosexuality. Hold on. There we go. So the offense of homosexuality and a lifetime sentence for aggravated homosexuality. Okay. Aggravated homosexuality covers a wide range of offenses, from incest and sex with a minor to sex with a person with a disability. According to sources, the bill will officially become law when it's published in the Ugandan Gazette. David Bati, the bill's author, maintains the law is about protecting children. However, he attempted to pass a similar bill with a death penalty provision entitled Kill the Gays. The Ugandan president suggested that he could not understand how men couldn't be attracted to Uganda's beautiful choice of women, and are instead attracted to their fellow men. Before signing the bill, the president challenged scientists to find an undeniable proof that being gay is ingrained in the genetic code of a gay person. When they could not, he put his pen to paper and made the terrifying law a reality. In addition to banning homosexual intercourse, it criminalizes the attempt to commit homosexuality and the promotion of homosexuality and aiding and abetting homosexuality. Very similar to Russia's laws. You can't associate with a gay person, and if you do, you can be punished, therefore, by associating with a gay person. The last bit means that if someone helps... It's going to repeat again. The last bit means that if someone helps a gay person engage in a homosexual activity, then they can be convicted of the crime. So if you know that, your cousin is gay and he has a partner, if you know that and you help him go see his partner, you're going to go to jail. So basically, yeah, you can go to jail for partaking in the unofficial wedding ceremony, anything like that. If you are a minister or, God forbid, a supportive family member, you can receive 7 years for transgressions. White House Press Secretary Jay Carney denounced the bill today in this statement. Instead of standing on the side of freedom, justice, and equal rights for its people today, regrettably, Ugandan President Museveni took Uganda a step backward by signing into law legislation criminalizing homosexuality. As President Obama has said, this law is more than an affront and a danger to the gay community in Uganda. It reflects poorly on the country's commitment to protecting the human rights of its people and will undermine the public health, including efforts to fight HIV and AIDS. We will continue to urge Uganda's government to repeal this abhorrent law and to advocate for the protection of the universal human rights of the LGBT persons in Uganda and around the world. President Obama warned that the signing of this bill would complicate the U.S.'s relationship with Uganda, since U.S. sent Uganda more than $256 million in aid last year. Then it goes on to have the images of the bill. Okay, so this is how I feel about this bill. It's the same. I kind of have the same, disagreements that I have with Russia. But I am a little bit disappointed with the U.S.'s shaking the finger. That's like, you can't throw stones when you live in a glass house. Basically, yeah, Obama supports gay marriage and stuff, but we still have a lot of problem with getting equal rights for gays. There's still a lot of states that don't allow gay marriage, and a lot of states that, treat gays basically, Yeah, there was just a state. I don't remember which one it was. It was one of it was one of a deeply red state, southern state, that allowed for gay segregation. So they want to bring, excuse me, segregation back like they did back in, the 50s and 60s, where, oh my God, excuse me, blacks couldn't use water fountains the same as white. They couldn't use bathrooms the same as white. They couldn't use the entrances the same as white. A lot of times they couldn't use, I was just reading the story and this was very interesting. I might talk about this later. I might talk about it now. One of the astronauts in the space mission, what was it called? I don't remember off the top of my head. It was the one that exploded as soon as it entered into space. I think it was the Challenger, was the rocket that went into space that exploded right away. And so he went into the library because as a child he loved to read about science. And so he went into the library, and the librarian saw the little nerdy kid with his glasses on and called the cops. The cops came and she said he's not allowed to be in this library. It's whites only, even though it was a public library. And so they said, and the problem is, and he was like, she was like, he's trying to check out a book. And they were like, well then why don't you give him the book? Like, these were white police officers too. The kind of same thing, like they want to just separate everybody based on, the color of your skin or your, sexuality, things that have nothing to do with anybody else. You and I can't control how we're born. You can't control what color you come out. You can't control what eye color you get. You can't control the shape of your nose. You can't control the shape of your legs. You can't control any of those things when you're born. And a lot of times you can't control how you feel about a certain person. You can't even find out those things until puberty. You don't find out half the things about yourself that you have to deal with until puberty. You don't like the way that your body shape. Well, I had to wait 12 years to find that out. All of a sudden you're like, everybody around me is telling me about these feelings for if you're a guy, these girls, and I just don't feel that way. But my friend Tom, I really like him in the way that everyone's telling me they feel about these other people. Or a girl, one of the YouTubers, what's her name, something Hart, Hannah Hart. She's a pretty well-known YouTuber, and she has come out as a lesbian. And she said that when she went through middle school, she went through the same thing. All of a sudden she noticed a girl, and it just was kind of like that first instant attraction that we all felt in elementary and middle school, but it just happened to be with a girl, and that's unfortunate. So one of the statements, the Ugandan president asked the scientists to prove that, being gay was a gene. Prove that being straight is a gene. Find the DNA science that says that sexuality can be pronounced as a gene. Everyone's always like, denounce this. Well, announce it then. I've never seen any studies that say being straight or, heterosexuality is in the DNA. I've never seen any sequences of that nature or, any scientist reports coming out saying, for all of those and skepticism of, people saying that they're being born gay. Well, I just found DNA evidence that everyone is born with a heterosexual gene, and if they are gay, then they chose it, because we've only got the results that there's only a heterosexual gene in every single person that we've tested, including gay, pronounced gay people. That's what I want to see when you ask something like that. You can't just be like, I want you to go and see if you can find a gay gene for me, please. And then when they can't find it because it's pretty much impossible, then you say, okay, I'm going to sign them my law then. No. It kind of has to go both ways. You kind of have to go, well, I need to see a straight gene as well. If I was to do that, then I would test a multiple range of people and say, in every single person that I found this one particular strand of DNA. This DNA is linked to heterosexuality. And I tested A, B, and C. I tested straight people, I tested lesbians, gays, transgenders, all of the above. They all carried the same heterosexual gene. Then you can say, because of that data, I can then conclude, you know, that you know, gay is a choice, I guess, if you want to say. But until that data comes out, that's not a viable defense. So I am with the U.S. on that one. It's kind of, they put us in these predicaments. I mean, yeah, we kind of have our own glass house. We just had a state try to pass a segregation law against the gays, because we do have that option as a state, to deny these things. But again, we lent them more than $256 million in aid last year, and I'm sure that a lot of our homosexual, citizens would not appreciate that money going towards a country that would penalize them and put them in jail. These are so extremes. These are such extremes, I mean. Russia in the same boat. To jail a person for something that harms no one. I understand the children thing, and that's with anything that's, any human being that tries to, disgrace a child, or, desecrate a child, that should be a jailable offense. But what you and I do in, our own personal time, that's not the government's business, and that's not my community's business, and that's not something that I should be in jail for. This is really unfair, and I understand as a president you have your own values and your own your own customs, but you're a president for a whole community, and you definitely I don't know how to say this, you've kind of put a bias on your laws, which is completely unfair. The laws should be for all, and your laws aren't for all, because your law now states that because, I'm straight, I'm like better than the rest. I'm not a criminal. Because now you've criminalized a sexuality, something that's personal, something that has nothing to do with you. I don't see any gay people trying to convert you to being gay, or any sort of, I don't see all of this harm that they say that is happening, that's surrounding this. We're going to take a quick break, but I'll be back with the next story, and I think we're going to listen to some, what is it, Bruno Mars? I think we're going to listen to this one. This is a nice one. So we're gonna listen to this one, and I'll be back. Are you